All right, here with Oklahoma State 25-pounder Troy Spratley. Troy, you opened the season yesterday, dominant tech fall victory. How'd you feel you competed yesterday against Stanford?
Yeah, felt great. I think just going into it, I was like, I want to set the tone for the team. I feel like that's what I go out there and do, and I feel like that's what the guys feed off of. So whenever I can go out there and put points up on the board, just the energy that the guys feel from that, there's like a bunch of guys in the back there saying that they love that when I go out there and set the tone. They're like, it was awesome. I was ready to go out there and wrestle. So that's what I kind of like to go out there and do.
Yeah, you definitely did that. Want to talk about the match a little bit. Early on, tight ties, front headlock. Took a little bit to get the opening takedown, but it felt like the ball got rolling and you were getting a lot of takedowns quickly. Was that physical fatigue that he was feeling, or were you just figuring out how he was defending you? What was kind of the difference there?
Yeah, I think it's just things that I've been working on in the room, just kind of closing that distance on those longer guys. I feel like I've struggled with in the past, so just kind of working on those things, and I feel like I was like, yeah, I need to go back in the room and work on a couple more things. But yeah, just kind of like, I don't know if it was a feeling out process, but I was like, I need to go out there and get to this guy's legs eventually. So it's kind of like, I was like, yeah, I'm just going to keep wearing on him in this front headlock. He felt like he was squeezing a lot, so I was like, yeah, I'm going to wear him down in the front headlock, and then eventually my offense is going to get rolling. So.
Yeah, it definitely did. Now, coming into the dual meet, we thought you were going to get a match against Nico Provo potentially. You wrestled him a couple years ago. He's out with injury for a little bit longer. What were your thoughts on the switch, and were you looking forward to that matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always looking forward to those matchups whenever you can wrestle a top guy. I mean, he's been out for a little bit, but he's still one of the better guys in college wrestling. So I was like, dang, I missed an opportunity to wrestle a top guy right off the bat. But I can't really control those things. I can control what I get to go out there and do. So whatever they put in front of me.
Absolutely. What did you learn about yourself last year, specifically at the national tournament, punching your way to the finals? After falling just short of All-American status a year ago to making the finals is a pretty significant jump. What did you prove to yourself?
Yeah, I feel like I've always been the guy that could do that. I think it's all on the coaching staff. When you have such a incredible coaching staff and they believe in you, how could you not believe in yourself to go out there and put yourself in an opportunity to win a national championship? Yeah, it was pretty easy for me. Even taking the loss in the Big 12 finals, I was like, all right, I know what I got to do. 2 weeks, I'm gonna go out there and try to dominate these guys. So I think I can just kind of like go out there, and the next week I'm like, all right, let's do it again. I never really dwell on taking losses or anything.
Really? How are you able to develop that? Some guys that it's really hard to not let that shake your confidence.
Yeah, I guess just what the coaches tell you in the room is really a big thing. You can't really control what happened in the past. You can just only focus on what's happening now, in the present, be where your feet are. And I feel like that was a big thing with last year with Coach Gilman and Coach Kennedy and Coach Taylor, just be where your feet are and be present,
Yeah. And 125 is a weight that's just generally chaotic the last couple of years. Everyone kind of beats everyone. You don't know who's going to win. Do you feel like you are going to maybe start to bring a little more stability, you and Vince, and you got some guys that are maybe on the upper echelon? Do you think it'll be still crazy this year, or do you think it'll find a little more stasis?
It could be a little bit more crazy. I mean, there's a lot of guys there, but I feel like top guys, they're gonna find ways to win, and probably bring a little bit more stability, and there's not going to be as much chaos as there has been in the past. So yeah, I think there's definitely going to be some more stability.
What's the most important technical aspect for you to be a national champion? What are the things you're thinking about? What's running through your head that, all right, if I improve on this, I can be a national champion this year?
Yeah, I think last year, if you would see in some of those matches where I was just kind of standing there and not really, using my fakes, using my conditioning, I think that's the biggest thing. If I can go out there and I'm shooting, 10 to 15 shots a match, it's like, how can these guys keep up with me? I know. It doesn't look like it, but I mean, these guys can't keep up with me when I'm, out there shooting, and I'm just kind of just looking for their next attack.
Talk to me, your semifinal against Ventresca. That was one of the more thrilling matches there. Can you talk me through that final sequence? You got the escape and you ended up darting right in, because I think he had a riding time advantage and you needed to get a takedown. Could you just talk me through that final sequence there?
So he didn't have a riding time advantage, but he'd gotten out in like 3 seconds. And so I was just like, I don't know, I kind of just went blank, and I was like, I got to go get one. It's kind of just what we do in the room, though. It was not like, I wasn't overwhelmed by it when he got out in 3 seconds. I was just like, okay, wrestle the next position. You know, Coach Taylor's always preaching it, and Coach Kennedy, they're like, wrestle the next position. So I was like, all right, he got out, and I was like, instantly put my hands back on him, and I was like, I'm going to go get a takedown. And it's just like Coach Taylor had been telling us that all years, like, give us that extra 10%, and that's pretty much what I went out there and did, you know.
When I asked Coach Taylor, hey, who are you looking to for leadership, you know, this year, young team, and yours was the first name mentioned. How have you, you know, you came in here like everyone does as a freshman, young, and now you're a junior. How have you been able to help be a leader on this team?
Yeah, I don't really talk very much, but I think just off of how hard I work. Just when I would go in the room and I'm working hard, I expect that out of the guys. And if I'm not doing it, how could I be able to tell them to do it, something that I'm not doing? You know, so I think that's the biggest thing. My leadership is with the work that I put in. You know, I'm in the room and I'm just grinding.
Yeah. The excitement level about Cowboy wrestling this year, it was high last year. It feels like it's maybe higher this year. Do you feel that? Are you feeling it in the community during the dual meets with the team?
Yeah, I think everybody's excited. I think the biggest thing is like we got such a young team, and these guys are hungry and they want to win. And maybe like some of the older guys on the team are feeding off of it too. That these young guys are in here and they're like, I want to win now. So it's a big thing.
That's got to be exciting. And now national duels are next week. You're likely going to face a number of ranked wrestlers, probably 4 dual meets for you guys. What excites you about that event?
Everything. I want to be wrestling the best guys, you know, and I want to be tested early. That's kind of the biggest thing with me is I don't care who they put out in front of me. That's how it has been. That's how it's always been. So.
You're not allowed to look ahead, but I'll do a little bit for you. There's a potential round 2 matchup against Vince Robinson. Thoughts on a third opportunity to wrestle Vince and maybe what you've learned from the 2 times you've wrestled him previously?
Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome, exciting. I think, you know, in the past we haven't really scored as many points, but I think now that we've wrestled each other and we felt each other out for the past 2 matches that we're both probably going to open it up more. And look to score points. You know, he's a point scorer and I'm a point scorer, so I'm thinking that you're going to see a lot of points put on the board.
For fans coming to the event, you know, maybe they're rooting for Oklahoma State. What can they expect if they're watching the Cowboys wrestling next weekend?
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. We're just going to go out there and look to score points and dominate these guys.
Awesome. Troy, appreciate your time. You got anything else before we let you get back to your Saturday?
No.
Awesome, man. Thanks for your time.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it, Troy.